There is an ongoing attempt to rewrite history about January 6th, 2021. In the last 4 years, propaganda networks like Fox News, Newsmax, and OAN have all lied and misinformed their audiences about January 6th and the 2020 presidential election. Republicans in power who listen to these networks have also lied and misinformed Republican voters. Some of them continue lying to them to this very day. But what really happened on January 6, 2021? The assault on the Capitol on January 6, 2021 didn't come out of nowhere. In the months leading up to the 2020 election, President Trump repeatedly cast doubts on mail-in voting and said that the only way that he would lose the election is if the election had been stolen from him. On the evening of the 2020 election, while ballots were still being counted, Donald Trump went up to the microphone and lied to his supporters and the rest of the American people, telling us that he had already won the election. But there's no way that could have been true, because not enough ballots had been counted to make that kind of determination. Once it became abundantly clear that Trump had lost the 2020 election, Republicans in Congress, right-wing media propaganda networks like Fox, Newsmax, and OAN began pushing the big lie to their supporters on a daily basis. Conservative Christian pastors all across America who listen to right-wing propaganda networks also began believing the big lie and then communicated it to their congregations. Tens of millions of churchgoers in America had been misinformed. Despite zero evidence and over 60 court losses and election officials across both parties confirming the results, Trump continued to lie to the American people. Good-hearted Republican voters were sold a lie by Donald Trump and right-wing media networks, believing that Democrats had rigged the election and that the election had been stolen from them. So Trump called them to Washington, D.C. on January 6th to protest the election results. And while it's true that some supporters came to protest peacefully, there was a large group of supporters who came with violent intentions. They were out for blood. On January 6th, this portion of the crowd had arrived to the Capitol dressed for war. They came with body armor, zip ties, and weapons. They called it the storm, and they were willing to kill anyone they perceived were their enemies. In the next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you a small portion of a New York Times investigation titled Day of Rage: How Trump Supporters Took the Capitol. It deals with some of the key events that led up to January 6th. I'll be back at the other side with some final thoughts.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They came from all 50 states. Out of some sense of patriotic duty.
It's so much more than just rallying for President Trump. It's really rallying for our way of life, the American dream, against fake news.
To protest an election they believed had been stolen.
We're here, Patriots. We're in Washington, D.C., Capitol building dead in front of us.
Their day of action would be January 6th, when Congress would count electoral ballots and ratify the 2020 election results. For some, it was just a rally for their president. For others, it was a call to arms.
We have the power in numbers. March on Congress directly after Trump's speech.
In the weeks beforehand, there were over 1 million mentions on social media of storming the Capitol. Maps were shared of the building's layout. There was talk of bringing weapons and ammunition, and discussion over which lawmakers should be targeted first. This anger was based on a lie.
This election was a fraud.
A lie that had grown more frenzied after the election.
President Trump won this election.
They were flipping votes.
Steal the election in Philadelphia.
When you win in a landslide and they
steal the election in Atlanta.
And it's rigged.
Steal the election in Milwaukee.
It's not acceptable.
This is outrageous.
a lie spread by the president and his closest allies.
Let's call out cheating when we find it.
Some of whom stoked calls for violence.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow.
Everyone's going to remember who actually stands in the breach and fights tomorrow and who goes running off like a chicken.
We bleed freedom.
This will be their Waterloo.
And we will sacrifice for freedom.
This will be their destruction.
What happened next was chaos.
They broke the glass.
Insurrection.
Take it now! Treason! Treason!
Death. Then there began a campaign to whitewash history, starting at the top.
It was a zero threat. Right from the start, it was zero threat.
And spreading throughout the Republican Party.
Even calling it an insurrection, it wasn't. By and large, it was peaceful protest.
One lawmaker who helped barricade the House doors now suggests there was barely any threat.
If you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
A tourist visit? This was not. And the proof is in the footage. As part of a 6-month investigation, the New York Times has collected and forensically analysed thousands of videos, most filmed by the rioters themselves. We obtained internal police radio traffic and went to court to unseal police body cam footage. Our reconstruction shows the Capitol riot for what it was. A violent assault encouraged by the president on a seat of democracy that he vowed to protect. We'll chart how police leaders failed to heed warnings of an impending attack, putting rank-and-file officers in danger. We'll track key instigators in the mob, taking advantage of weaknesses in the Capitol's defences to ignite a wave of violence that engulfed the building. We'll show, for the first time, the many simultaneous points of attack and the 8 breaches of what appeared to be an impenetrable institution of government. We'll show how the delay to secure Congress likely cost a rioter her life, and how for some, storming the Capitol was part of the plan all along.
In fact, tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go, I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in to the Capitol.
Let's go!
It's the morning of January 6th, and thousands are filling the National Mall in Washington. Trump will speak here at the Ellipse, a large park near the White House and a half-hour walk to the US Capitol, where the election will be certified. Who's actually in this crowd? Most are ordinary citizens who believe Trump's lie that the election was stolen.
It's going to be a great day. It's going to be wild, as Trump says.
But we also see more extreme groups who've gained a following during Trump's presidency. There are followers of the QAnon conspiracy,
Drinking their blood, eating our babies.
who believe that Trump is facing down a cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles. Q posts often invoke notions of patriotism and predict a coming storm. And ahead of January 6th, some supporters call for violence. The Oath Keepers, a far-right paramilitary group, are also here.
We have men already stationed outside D.C.
Their leader has said the group is ready to follow Trump's orders and take members of what they call the deep state into custody. They're organised, staging their military-style equipment neatly on the ground. And later, they put on body armour, talk on radios, and chat with their supporters on a walkie-talkie app called Zello.
We have a good group. We got about 30, 40 of us. We're sticking together and sticking to the plan. Y'all, we're 1 block away from the Capitol now. I'm probably going to go silent when I get there because I'm going to be a little busy.
Another group is the Proud Boys. They're far-right nationalists who flash white power signs throughout the day.
Check out all this testosterone.
They became a household name when Trump invoked them during a presidential debate.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
And that's what they did. They have a history of street violence and will be key instigators of the riot. We'll return to them soon. Although the rally is billed as a political protest, some make calls to storm the Capitol even before Trump speaks.
We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction.
And later, when Trump does take the stage,
We're going to walk down
to the Capitol.
Some hear his words as a call to action.
You'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
Invade the Capitol building.
Do the right thing.
Take the Capitol. Take the Capitol.
Been lawfully slated. Lawfully slated.
Take the Capitol right now.
Everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building.
2 hours before this, the Proud Boys were already heading for the Capitol. They're clearly spoiling for a fight with far-left agitators like Antifa, who they believe are in DC.
Where's Antifa?
But there are moments that suggest another motive.
Take the fucking Capitol. Come on, tighten up. Tighten up. Come on, boys.
Let's not fucking yell that, all right?
They're organised too. Many are marked with orange tape or hats.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys. And those are the boys marching with us. We got hidden guys everywhere.
They're wearing body armour, carrying baseball bats, and using radios.
That's affirmative. Yes, this is Tucker.
As you can see, the Capitol was overrun. Windows were smashed. They entered the Capitol building illegally. They stormed the halls of Congress. They even hunted for politicians by name. Capitol and Metropolitan policemen were brutally assaulted. They were beaten with batons, baseball bats, fire extinguishers, flagpoles, stolen police shields, crutches, pepper spray, bear spray, and other weapons, all at the hands of Trump supporters. And yet, for the last few years, Trump and MAGA Republicans rebranded January 6th insurrectionists as patriots. Here's what we can't afford to forget. January 6th was not spontaneous. It was orchestrated, fueled by lies, driven by power, and made possible by silence. This was a test of our democracy, and we barely passed. Donald Trump is again president, and Republicans continue to retain power in Congress. We cannot and should not underestimate Trump's intentions to continue to weaken our democracy for political power. What happens next is on us. Here's what you can do. First, recognize that you are not powerless. 2, stay informed. 3, speak up and support pro-democracy Democrats and independents in all local and federal elections, or become a pro-democracy candidate yourself. 4, support independent voices like mine by subscribing to our channels and liking our posts. Also consider supporting our work through one-time donations or monthly memberships. Thank you.